Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nautilus. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. I'm having a pretty good day myself, Not doing too bad with it. I feel like things are going pretty good. Channel's moving along swimmingly. The birds are singing. And I am creating, this new art piece from scratch. It's just brand spanking new. Nothing really to it. I just had an idea in my head. Kind of went for it, Speaking of going for it, why don't we go for it with this, Why don't we just keep going with this? Let's see here. So, last we were at the journey of Gilderhand, the story I am trying to turn into a book. And by the way, I have continued writing. Let me take some water here so I can get a better talking voice. There we go. Yes, I have continued writing this. I plan on writing this for as long until I feel it is done. I feel like I have a lot more to go with this story. But what we've been doing in these videos is we've been reading The Journey of Gilderhand together, the story I've been writing. And it's getting, a lot of people are actually enjoying it. They think the commentary is good. They like my soothing voice. And they say it's good. It's just good filler, basically, for these videos. So, with that said, before we get continued on with this video, please, if you would not mind, as this art piece is going along, hit that subscribe button, click the bell icon to never miss a video from me. I upload nearly daily. All the art pieces are fresh, original, and created by me. The editing and the uploading and all this stuff is done by me alone. I have no one here to help me. I do everything by myself, and I feel like the support is, good. I think it's a little necessary. Also, I have a merch store. teespring.com/store/the-nautilus. If you would be so kind as to please go there, there's a link in the description. Use promo code Nautilus40 to get 40% off everything in my store. Ooh, I like that. So that's Nautilus, the number 4 and the number 0. And get yourself some sweet merch of mine. Help support me. Rock the Nautilus logo, the Nautilus brand, the Nautilus way of life. I like the sound of that. Alright, let's continue on here. Let's just see what's going on with where we're at. Okay, we got 12 minutes of reading time today. So why don't we just get right on down to that? Huh? By the way, this is a weird art piece, so I hope you guys are prepared for what I've been doing here. And by the way, I love the different pencils I've been using in this program here. I am using a number B pencil that is less than 2B, 4B, 6B, 8B, etc., etc. I love it. It's just, it makes everything look so sketchy and fresh and new and original. And I'm going to be using it for a variety of different drawings in the coming years. So I hope you guys are prepared for that. Let's start reading, huh? Gilderhand and Macaro were talking to each other the last time we left off. Gilderhand tells, looks back at Macaro and says, "So are you coming or not?" Macaro begins wagging his tail and quickly runs up to him. "Just stay to the path and we should be fine. Never wander off the path, or it would become your downfall." "Thanks for the warning," Gilderhand says. "Just make sure to stay at my side if something happens. Wouldn't want my companion getting all bruised and injured so early on." They continued trading jabs at each other, as if they had known each other since birth. Continuing on, they passed several small abandoned villages that lined the countryside, each one more decrepit than the last. It makes them feel uneasy, like a sense of doom that comes over them. "By the way," Gilderhand says, "why don't you just call me G from now on? It's much easier to pronounce, since my name seems long by comparison." Macaro looks up at him, tilts his head and says, "Sure, whatever you want me to call you. Doesn't bother me either way." He begins walking ahead. sniffing out the area to smell if people have walked through. Alright, now we're back at the king's lair. Back in Northumbria. Rumors have begun to spread of the king's madness, becoming a sickness that has enveloped the mind. I can't speak. Becoming a sickness that has enveloped the mind. They say that he cannot trust anyone anymore, and that he even begun to hide from his own noblemen. Some people hear talk of the king even accusing his own royal guard of allowing his kid to climb the wall, and that they purposefully gave him permission to disobey a law written by government. He is fixated on blaming anyone who even reminds him of his banished son. Oh my goodness, I apologize. I think I just had dinner, so I'm doing this post-dinner. Give me a second. There we go. And will admonish anyone who even tries to argue with him. His fear has spread to the villages in the kingdom, and people have become worried that his rage will turn into an undying wrath, that he will lay down upon those who are innocent. Oh, I like this voice. In their eyes, he has become mentally unstable, and since the election nears, it is very unlikely he will be reappointed to the position of king. G begins to worry about his father. He even begins to ponder if his choice was the right one. He knows that he was meant for this journey, but something in his heart is tugging on him, slightly nudging him to turn around. But in the end, his head clears away all thoughts of negativity. He refocuses on the matter at hand, and presses on with each step of the dirt path he takes. "Can I ask you something?" he says to Macaro. "Did you know that you'd meet me here, or was it sheer coincidence that I would meet a talking dog to accompany me on my travels?" Macaro looks back. "Are you implying that fate convened us together? That we were somewhat bound to become a tag team on your journey? Because if that's so, that sounds pretty ridiculous. As far as I know, you were walking, and I just happened to be there, so it was mere coincidence." G rolls his eyes slightly. "For talking dog, you come off as rude sometimes. I was merely asking a normal question," he says. "And for a normal human, you come off as standoffish and very negative. I was merely stating my answer to your question." Macaro answers back. "Just because you happen to be somewhat taller than me doesn't give you the right to act like a jerk. Besides, I'm offering my help so you don't get yourself killed on your way to wherever it is you're going." G, clearly put in his place, answers back shyly. "Fine, I'm sorry." He wanted to say more than that, but he knew that if he did, he'd be risking another argument and would be left alone. He decided to mind his business and continue on behind Macaro, letting him sniff out their trail. After walking a couple of miles, they come to a cave carved out of a cliff. Peering inside, they notice no trace of sound, not even water running, which would be found in most caves. "It's so quiet," says Macaro. "It's as if the air doesn't even move in here. Very eerie." They continue on past the cave and head west toward the sunset, but before they can get too far, G stops and perks his head up. I think I just heard something in the cave," he says to Macaro, who's only a couple feet in front of him. Who's only a couple of feet from him. "Don't joke around like that. That stuff gives me the creeps," replies Macaro, who can be seen visibly shaking. "I'm sorry I can't talk." I'm so excited about this. "Why would I joke around about something like that? Just to scare you? I'm telling you, I heard something in that cave, like a low growling noise, but it still sounded far away, so perhaps this cave goes on for a while." Macaro, peering inside, notices G pick up his lantern. "What are you doing?" the dog says. "I'm going in there. I want to find out what made the noise. You don't have to come if you don't want, but then you'd be leaving me all alone in the dark. Musty cave with no protection or guidance," he said in a snarky tone. Taking a homemade match, he uses the cave wall to strike a fire and light up the lantern. "I'm going in. Perhaps there's something here and we were meant to find it," G said. "I hope you know what you're doing," Macaro replied, "because right now you seem like the biggest idiot of all time." Ha! Oh, I can't believe I put that in. Wow. Disregarding his last statement, G decides to venture inward into the cave, walking slowly and keeping his hand to the stone wall. "I've got a really bad feeling about this." Shout out to Was it Han Solo? I didn't do that because of Han Solo, but I kind of did, without even realizing it. Macaro remarks, walking slowly behind G, but always keeping up with his pace. You can have all the feelings you want, G replied. Just keep the negativity to a dull roar, please. Small drops of water could be heard throughout the cave, along with the movement of little insects and mice scurrying around in the cave. Stalactites cover the ceiling of the cave like a bunch of deadly chandeliers, and stalagmites carpet the floor like rows of nails waiting to be stepped on. This is the last place G expected to be, but at this very moment, he was too determined to turn around. At this point, retreat was not an option. Ooh, I wish I could read this better for you guys. I'm trying my best here. The light of the lantern gave way to weird markings on the cave of the wall. Wow, on the walls of the cave. Dyslexia. Oh boy. I hope this is entertaining for you guys, because I'm entertained. What time? Where are we at, ladies and gentlemen? Where are we at? Oh man, it's already 4 minutes left. Man, I've been reading for a while. This is kind of fun though. I'm having a good time, baby. Alright. On the walls of the cave. Perhaps they were drawings from a past civilization that dug out this cave. Macaro, these drawings. Do you know if they mean anything? She asked his new canine companion. I've never even seen this cave before, he replied. These markings are as ancient and foreign to me as they are to you. The corridor they were walking down began to narrow slightly before giving way to an impasse. Two routes veered off in different directions, without any sign of what may be down each one. So, which way do we go? We can't exactly split up. We'd be walking into our demise before we had time to turn around, she acknowledged, looking down at Macaro inquisitively. I just so happened to have a coin in my pocket, so how about we leave it up to chance, she says, taking the coin out and showing the dog. I agreed to that. After all, it was chance that bound us to this journey. It'd be foolish to just walk down any corridor without making an airtight decision based on the flip of a coin. Macaro... Oh my god, Macaro added, nodding his head in agreement. Okay, here I go. The coin leaves G's hand and falls to the ground, spinning violently on the stone floor of the cave before finally collapsing. Using his lantern, he moves closer to the coin with Macaro. Before they look at the result of the coin flip, they agree on the findings. Okay, if it landed on the king's head, it's the left corridor. But if it landed on the twin oak bristles, we go down the right corridor. They both nodded, looked down to find the answer. Man! Holy moly! Oh, man. When the light was finally over the coin, they could clearly see the king's head facing them. Staring back at each other, they turned their heads to the left corridor and peered down it, before G picks the coin up. Well, I guess we go down the left corridor as fate has decided, Macaro says. As fate has decided, G reiterates. Guess there's no turning back now. He continues to say, Standing up, they begin to move into the left corridor, which seems to slope somewhat downward. The last thing we needed was a slight incline, remarked Macaro. After all, isn't it enough that we're going deeper into the cave? Gilderhand, looking back, remarked, What are you scared all of a sudden? Also, aren't you supposed to be leading us since you're the guide? Macaro replied. Well, look who got all snippy because I made a comment, G. Well, you're certainly not helping matters by complaining. We're in this situation whether you like it or not. Macaro. Fine, I'll stop complaining. Move to the side so I can take point. Oh, by the way, in the actual writing of this, I just put G dash and then M dash so I knew who was what. And we got a minute left. Man, that was a tough read. I sometimes forget how to read when I'm reading my own stuff. But I hope this was entertaining for you guys. I'm thinking about doing something different just so I give myself more content to do for the next time we catch up with Macaro and Gilderhand. I hope this is entertaining for you. I hope you guys enjoy what I'm doing with this. Once again, please, in the description of this video is a link to my Teespring store. Please go check it out. I really do appreciate you guys. Subscribe, click the bell, like this video, share it with anyone you know, because you guys are so awesome. And remember, the Nautilus is